Hey, what is going on, guys? It's Young here, and today I'm back in our Fortnite video, and in today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys some tips and tricks and also show you guys how to improve and how to win a lot more games here in Chapter 2. I'm going to be showing you guys the exact things that you guys want to improve on so you guys can get better at the game very quickly. So if you guys are looking to improve very fast in this game, this definitely is the video for you. I'm going to show you guys, like I said, exactly what you want to do to improve, and no matter what skill level you are, what to improve on. And real quick, before we get into the video, I'm going to be giving away 2,000 V-Bucks every single week. And if you guys want a chance to enter this giveaway and win some free V-Bucks, all you guys have to do to enter that giveaway is to drop a like on this video. Make sure you guys do subscribe to the channel. Also, make sure you guys do turn on those post notifications so you guys get notified for every single new video. And lastly, comment down below either your Xbox gamer tag, your PSN gamer tag, or Epic account, and you guys will be automatically entered into the next giveaway. And also, if you guys like to support me in the item shop, all you guys have to do is go down to the bottom, click on support a creator, type in my code. My creator code is Younghumor, and you guys will have me added and supported as a creator. And alright guys, let's get right to the video. Alright, so in this video, I wanted to give you guys some very good tips and tricks on how to improve very quickly in this game. Now, there's quite a few different things to improve on in Fortnite. There's so many different mechanics, so I want to talk about the different mechanics that you can improve on, and also some things that I've seen. So, a skill-based matchmaking in the game, you run against different players. So, for instance, when the players that I play against in solos especially are extremely sweaty, meaning that the play style and what I need to improve on is going to be a little bit different than some of you guys who maybe are just starting out, or maybe go into like medium skill type of players. So when it comes to fighting different players, I noticed that different things are more important than others. So if I'm playing against very, very good players, things like maybe decision making and editing could be a lot more important than maybe just straight aim. And when you're playing against people who are maybe I guess a little bit less skilled, you run into like medium skilled players, average players, maybe aim is a little bit more important. So I wanted to really break down which group, so if you're like a beginning player, what you should work on, if you're maybe a little intermediate, or if you're very, very good at the game looking for some good tips as well. I'm going to show you guys the different things that you should improve on and kind of the order to improve if you want to be able to win games a lot faster. So the first thing that you want to do, maybe if you're like a beginning player, I think the most important thing that you can work on is going to be your aim. That is going to be the number one, because if you're playing against players who aren't as good, obviously you're not going to have people who are going to be doing any crazy triple, quadruple edits, crazy high ground retakes. So a lot of times it is mainly focused on aim. So if you want to be able to succeed when you are playing against below average players, or maybe even just starting out, you really want to focus on your aim. That is going to be the most crucial part of your game and really what's going to set you apart in those beginning stages. So in order to improve your aim, there's a lot of different things you can do. And for one thing, maybe you could try lowering your sensitivity, trying out different settings that you might otherwise have not tried out. You can also do aiming courses, and I have a video. I have an aiming course that I did in a video about a month ago. I'll probably link that down in the description below if you are looking for an aiming course to try out. I really did like it because there's a lot of aiming courses that I wasn't a fan of, but this one was very, very good. So if you're looking for some aiming courses to improve your aim on, that is going to be the one for you. So down in the description below or in the pinned comment, I'm going to try to put the link to that video and try to put the map code down in there so you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about. So like I said, when it comes to just starting out, I think aim is going to be 100% your go-to improvement. And once you level up and start to play against a little bit better players, I think the next very, very important thing to work on is going to be your building, because that's when you're going to be going against people who like to build fight a little bit more, not necessarily people who go for a lot of crazy edits and hit like quadruple edits all the time, but I would say building starts to get more and more important. And the most effective way that I've seen when it came to improving your building is going to be free building and creative. That's probably been the best thing for me. So if you guys don't know what to practice, you don't know any high ground retakes to really work on to improve on, I have plenty of videos on high ground retakes. You can definitely check those videos out if you're really curious on maybe what high grounds to take out, because obviously the main ones are going to be like double 90s, but usually by this point you probably have them pretty good. So you want to practice as many free builds as you can, because that is going to improve you at building much quicker than just cranking 90s in pubs. So working on your free building and learning different high ground retakes can be very, very good. Even if you don't use all the high ground retakes every single game, it doesn't really matter. Just the fact that you're able to do them is going to make you feel a lot more comfortable with building and allow you to build a lot faster and a lot smoother in this game, much quicker. So working on free building is, I think, going to be essential. And like I said, I have plenty of high ground retakes. All you guys have to do is just go to the search bar, type in Younghumor high ground retake videos, and I have literally probably like 10 videos on different high ground retakes, anything from like beginner ones to intermediate ones to very, very difficult ones. I literally have everything. So definitely check those videos out if you're looking for some things to practice and creative. So moving on, so you start to get a little bit better at building. I would say the next important thing to work on is going to be your editing. So when you're working on editing, these are the people that you start to get that are a lot better at the game, because editing really is the deciding factor, especially when you play against good players. For those guys who play box fights and creative against better players, or even in pubs against better players, you guys know that editing really is crucial to being able to win gunfights consistently. So hitting different edits and being very, very efficiently and also accurate when you are editing is going to be crucial when it comes to playing against better players. Just because the one main thing that I really like about editing as opposed to any other mechanic, because it's very, very unpredictable. You really have so many different options, because when you're going for an edit, say with a wall or even a stairs, there's probably a good 4 or 5 different edits that you can pull on the other player, meaning that the other player really just has to try to predict and try to read off the play that you make, meaning that it really gives you if you're a really good editor at the game, it's going to give you an advantage very easily, just because when you are editing, like I mentioned, it is very unpredictable, so you could really do any sort of number of edits and catch the player off guard. So even if they're a very, very good player, if you go for an edit that they didn't expect, a lot of times you are going to be able to outplay that player. So working on editing, I think, is extremely crucial when you are playing against very good players, because editing is going to be that deciding factor whether or not you win that gunfight or not. So editing, I would say, is very important on that list. And as far as my recommendations when it comes to improving editing, I really do like editing courses. There's a ton of very good ones out there. You really don't need to find any that are, crazy and have literally everything. Just some good editing courses. Practicing creative, I think, is a very good way to improve very fast at this game when it comes to editing. So like I said, editing is something that you guys definitely want to improve on. I think it's a deciding factor in a lot of aspects. So editing, 100%, definitely do some editing courses. I think that's the best way to improve your edits. And so moving on to when you play against very high level players, so maybe even in arena, or if you play against people like in my solo games half the time where people just try their nuts off 24/7, they're trying as hard as humanly possible. And at this point, you're very efficient at building, you're very efficient at editing and also aiming, so you have all those aspects working for you, but you're still struggling to win games. So the number one thing that you want to focus on as far as when you play against the highest level of players is going to be your decision making. That's going to be the number one thing. And the reason why this is the last thing is because a lot of times, especially against lower level players, as long as you have good mechanics, you can win gunfights consistently over and over again. You really don't even have to have the best decision. You can make really, really bad decisions, but if your mechanics are very good, you can win gunfights very easily without too much issues. So when it comes to decision making, this is a little bit more complicated and a little bit harder to get down. So because when it comes to your decision making, there really isn't like a clear way to improve on this other than really just playing the game and maybe watching against high level players. Because when you watch high level players, a lot of times you will see things that they do that maybe you never thought of that are very effective and very smart and will help you win a lot more gunfights. So you can like I said, you can watch high level players, but other than that, it's really complicated to get your decision making down, just having a conscious effort in game. So if you notice that maybe during gunfights you go for certain edits and you keep losing gunfights every time after you go off that edit, maybe you try a different edit. So different things like that are a very good way to improve your decision making. And also, I feel like even playing arena, even if you are a pub player, playing arena can also help your decision making as well, because it really helps you when it comes to making sure that you challenge the right gunfights, because when it comes to decision making, there's so many different aspects that I can get into. And just one example is learning when to push other players and when not to, because if if you have a disadvantage on loot, if maybe you don't even have enough materials, maybe you only have like 400 materials, and a lot of the players you're going against are very sweaty, you probably don't want to challenge that gunfight. So there's so many different aspects I can get into, but playing arena can really help your decision making as well, helping you learn when to push other players, when not to push, when to play aggressive, when to play passive, how to have a really good rotation, and as well knowing when to, pursue gunfights. There's so many different things like I mentioned, but decision making is going to be the number one thing when you are playing against the highest level of players or very, very sweaty players overall, even if you have very good mechanics, because I feel like decision making separates the really, really good players mechanically from the players who are just good at the game in any aspect. And with that being said, that's going to wrap it up for this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, if you guys found this video very helpful, make sure you guys do drop that like. Make sure you guys do subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Turn on my post notifications. You guys are notified for every single new video. And alright guys, I'll see you next video.